till the lights go down, 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 till the lights go down, down, down. I've been feeling alright. I've been taking.
What is going on, everybody? You got your boy Crypto Vibes back, and today, guys, we're back with the Remnants in week 9, I believe. So yeah, we've had a little bit of a break, I guess. March Madness going on. People just mainly just March Madness, I guess, but yeah, for sure. Back with the Remnants uploads. So if you guys were watching the Remnants uploads, then I'm sorry it's been a while, but we're back with week 9 as this is our second to last game, actually. So definitely nearing to playoffs at this point, as I believe we are locked for a spot at this point. As at the current moment we are sitting at 7-1 plus 25, and actually the team we're going up against today is 7-1 plus 24, and that would be Omega Jolteon and his Chicago Carracostas. So definitely got ourselves a tough opponent this week. I know Omega is a great battler for sure, and I'm glad I get to play him. So this is gonna be a fun game no matter what. So yeah, definitely get into the matchup itself. I'll go ahead and put that on the screen right now, and yeah. You guys can definitely see he has a very, very scary team consisting of a core of Celesteela, Mega, Gallade, and Azumarill. Just really, all three of those offensively just pressure me a lot, and that's not something I want to deal with. Overall, I am really scared of overall just a ban. As you guys can see, the rest of his team too. He's got some scary things like the little Marowak is definitely a big threat to my team. What is it? Potential Archie upsets are definitely a little difficult. Could definitely bring the Snorlax. Rotom could be a little bit of annoyance if he brings it, so he's definitely got some things that will be a little bit troublesome, so we'll have to be able to deal with them appropriately this game. And yeah, for sure, coming into this game, I didn't really have the best way. I wanted to look for my best options to break down Celesteela, obviously. That's why I started off my building with and yeah, he covers his team. He covers his Celesteela very nicely with his team, just being able to protect its weaknesses a lot, with just a ton of different Pokemon he has, like one mon that would be really good for me to bring against the Celesteela would be my Mega Manectric, but he does have an Alolan Marowak, which just hardwalls it completely, no matter what set I can. I mean, I could run like Hidden Power Ground, I guess. Potentially two-shot him if he's just max HP and no Spadef. But that's not something I want to do in case he just brought Snorlax or something else to check it, like Nidoking. I guess Hidden Power Ground would hit Nidoking as well, so that'd be a possibility, because I do expect Nidoking as well. But something like the Snorlax could just completely check in Mega Manectric, so definitely I did not have the best matchup overall, and I felt like I could try to break down Celesteela with other mons, for sure. Overall, I didn't feel like the matchup was the greatest, just because I felt like the Celesteela just could kind of run through my team if I wasn't able to play around it right, and the rest of his team pressures my team kind of in a way where I feel like he'll get Celesteela in a lot for free, so it's definitely going to be a difficult one, but I think we did build a pretty solid team this time around, and we are getting close to playoffs, and we definitely could play again in playoffs, so I am revealing like sets and stuff, but I did actually come up with a lot of different ideas for Omega's team, so I definitely didn't bring I did bring a lot of my good stuff, but I definitely do feel like I have some stuff I didn't bring that I can bring against him next time, which definitely, hopefully will catch him off guard, for sure. But yeah, anyways, I guess we'll just hop into my team. As you guys can see, we are leading off with Tornadus, Therian, Fusion right here, with the Hurricane, Heat Wave, U-Turn, and Taunt with the Flying MZ. Now, if you look at his roster, he really doesn't have great flying and resist, outside of, obviously, Celesteela is a nice one, and then he has the Archeops, which could come, might not come. It's kind of up in the air for me. And then we can outspeed that, obviously, unless he gets Choice Scarfed. And even then, Z-Fly is still doing over, I believe, a clean half to that. So if we're able to weaken the Celesteela to a point where it's not really a switch into this, because as you can see, we do have Heat Wave on deck, Z-Fly can actually just now us a kill, pretty much. So that's a really, really nice thing to have on deck. We have the Heat Wave there just for Celesteela. If he's an offensive variant, we can potentially two-shot him, because he doesn't have great switch-ins to this mon. So Celesteela might be a switch into this mon, so I'm definitely assuming that Celesteela could be defensive, but I do need to be prepared for offensive Celesteela for sure, too. As U-turns there, just so we can kind of, I kind of want to see what his switch-in is going to be, I guess. Yeah, U-turns there, just so I can kind of get momentum, like if a Celesteela comes in, even though I don't really take advantage of Celesteela the best with the rest of my mons, I felt like U-turn was nice momentum, and obviously lets me get my regenerator back easier and stuff like that, and then Taunt is there to prevent anything from setting up or getting up rocks or anything like that, so I felt like it was kind of necessary in that slot. As we do have enough speed to outspeed his, not his fastest mon. His fastest mon is a Selgor, but after that he does drop down to base 110 with Mega Gallade and Archeops, and we are outspeeding both of those, barring any kind of speed boost or scarfs and whatnot, of course. And then we're running max special attack just because I feel like obviously this mon hits his team incredibly hard, and then 88 in HP, Overall, I don't believe that really gives us any, like, I didn't really, like, specifically give him AV investments for the HP there. I just threw the rest into HP, knowing that obviously I only need that much speed. And yeah, overall I think this is a really good mod against the team. One of the two really good mods against this team in my opinion. Otherwise, I don't think the team's the best, but I'll get into it. Coming into our next mod, we have Fisticuffs, our Hariyama. Bringing the leftovers this week with Knockoff, Close Combat, Earthquake, and Thunder Punch. Now, guess I really should have talked about this, or really should have thought about the set more. Something over like Toxic over Thunder Punch could have been really nice. I really only had Thunder Punch there for the Azumarill because he couldn't set up a Belgium for free, I guess. Oh yeah. The reason why I had that was what was the reason I had that? I think the reason I had Thunder Punch was so I could hit the Azumarill on a regular Belgium by any chance. And then my Shaman comes into play. I'll explain what I mean with my Shaman though. Thunder Punch is there basically so it doesn't let the Azumarill just set up for free, which I do think the Azumarill is a huge threat, even though I think Banded makes more sense against my team than Belgium overall, just because my player switch-ins on this team, as you can see, do not exist, and my only player who exists on the team are Charizard and Steelix, which get bodied by its water coverage, so yeah, my Azumarill switch-ins do not exist. Yeah, but anyways, this Hariyama is pretty good against his team overall. Like I said, probably should have Toxic over Thunder Punch because really landing on Toxic on Azumarill would just be better overall against rather than Thunder Punch. And this mod also does allow in things like the Mega Gallade. I guess Celesteela could come in easier if I just have Toxic over Thunder Punch, but I can't hit it with close combat anyways, which still does a solid chunk. And then overall, I just think Toxic would have been better. But yeah, that's really one of the only things I feel like I messed up with the team builder on, not having Toxic on this, just because it allowed switch-ins, and like I said, my team kind of just allows his team to switch in for free a lot of the time, so that's really unfortunate. But this is my main Hydreigon answer, if I didn't say that already. He might assume that Tapu Fini is going to be my main answer, because Tapu Fini is a really obvious one, so if he has any kind of hidden tech for that, then obviously it won't work, because it's going to be a main switch-in for now. It also deals with a Rotom Heat or Rotom Cut if he wants to bring that. At least deals with it in the fashion that it doesn't let it just destroy my team, get a ton of damage off. Obviously, I'm not running the Guts, so if he burns me, then yeah, if he burns me, then it's pretty annoying, honestly. But I don't think he would click Will-O-Wisp in front of me potentially. I think he'd just Volt Switch out most of the time, which obviously leads to him getting the free switches and things like Gallade. So yeah, Toxic was definitely a better bring in hindsight. Even though I do have the Misty Train. But getting into the EV spread itself, the Spadef's kind of, I believe I just needed the 36 and attack investments for the close combat. Yeah, for the close combat to knock out the given Hydreigon set. I'm kind of expecting, if he does bring Hydreigon, that is. I don't think its matchup's that great, but if he does bring Hydreigon, I have enough attack investment to knock him out with close combat. If he is running a certain HP, I believe it's like 108 HP, which means he could run the rest into speed and obviously special attack. But he'd creep my max speed Tapu Fini is what I'm guessing he might try to do. So that's the idea with that, and we can just hit it with close combat and knock it out essentially. I mean, obviously he wouldn't want to stay in most scenarios, but if I am weakened to a point where he thinks he can knock me out with a Draco, but my Spadef gives me a really good shot to, then maybe that'd be a scenario where I stand and click close combat. Or if he makes some really like crazy double or something trying to predict me a switch out with my Hariyama, and I actually just stay and click close combat or something. But it's really just a wall this week. It's not really a wall; it's just a switch into certain things. But I figure it'd be pretty good this week. It does allow a couple switch-ins, so I don't know how I feel about the mod personally. I definitely could have switched it to Toxic like I was talking about over the Thunder Punch, but really I was okay with bringing this mod in this game, and yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about Hariyama. Get into my next mod. This is pretty much my main win con up against this team. If I look at it, you can see overall that Nature's Madness plus Taunt kind of gives his team some trouble, especially the slower stuff like the Alolan Marowak, which I expect. Celesteela, if it's defensive, this can definitely beat it because I don't expect him to be running grass coverage against my team. If he is offensive, like any kind of Z-move, obviously Z-move will work through Taunt, but I can still get him to the point where I Nature's Madness him down. And after I Nature's Madness, if he is offensive with Z-move potentially and stuff like that, autotomize, then if he is special, my Tornadus can live any one attack, I believe even from +2, which is pretty nice to know. And then I can, after Nature's Madness, Heat Wave should be able to knock it out, which is really solid. And you're going to see something like that kind of go into effect during the game, but yeah. Getting into the spread itself, run enough speed for max speed Celesteela, just so we can taunt a potential autotomizing set if he wants to go for that right away. We have the 52 and Spadef with a Calm Nature that allows us to... yeah, it allows us with the Kevia Berry With the HP investment and the Spadef investment with the Calm Nature and Kebia Berry, it basically allows us to 1v1 a Celestial variant, which I expect. If he does bring defensive, of course, which definitely could bring defensive with like Leech Seed and whatnot, Protect, Heavy Slam and all that. Potentially this set can 1v1 that down and kill it with the Hydro Pump after it gets weakened enough. And if you want to try to revenge me with Nidoking with the Sludge Wave, I do have the Kebia Berry on there, and I believe a Life Orb or Timid Sheer Force Life Orb Sludge Wave does about 40%. So if I can stay above that range, then I can potentially knock out the Nidoking too, because that comes into the special attack investment where we have 48 investment. And if he doesn't have any bulk on his Nidoking, which he could have a little bit, but I don't expect him to have any, then Hydro Pump can guarantee me they knock out there. From full, because this team you're going to see we actually don't have Stealth Rocks on this team, so that's kind of a little bit of a problem. But my Stealth Rockers this season have been Mew and Steelix, and if you guys know, most of my Mew sets I like running don't really have Stealth Rocks on them for the most part, and then Steelix I can't really rely on it every week just because it's a good rocker, but it's a tier 5, and like it's just not always going to be good in matchups. So yeah, that's the Tapu Fini set. Like I said, really solid against the team overall if I can put it in the right position to do its thing. Iron Defense also, I didn't really mention that. Iron Defense is also there because if Alolan Marowak is ever against my team, and I think he's just going to set up rocks, which I think is a very nice rocker form, considering if I bring something like Mega Manectric, he completely just brings it in on my Mega Manectric and gets up rocks for free. So if he ever wants to bring in that, or if I predict Alolan Marowak to come in or whatnot and double into my Tapu Fini in a scenario, or if Fini's in against the Hydreigon, I'm in a position where I feel like I can click Iron Defense because I feel like his switch will be probably Celesteela, just based off his team, because he doesn't really have the greatest switch-ins to this one, or the Rotom Cut if he does bring that, which I really don't think he will, but it's definitely a possibility. So I'm kind of banking on the fact that he doesn't bring that mon, because it is annoying for the team I have here, but I can definitely deal with it given in the right scenario. So yeah, that's the idea with Iron Defense. So we can potentially set up an Iron Defense on the Alolan Marowak as he switches into either the Celesteela, and obviously if he brings a Rotom Cut, then that kind of ruins my idea there for a little bit. So this is one of the sets I have with my Tapu Fini. I do have a couple sets I feel like could be really good against them, so I'm not really showing everything yet, but that's just yeah, I have more ideas. But this is just a really cool set I wanted to try out, and yeah, that's pretty much it for Tapu Fini. Getting into my next model, we actually have my Diggersby, which actually has an interesting role this week, in my opinion, being that it has Return, Earthquake, Spikes, and Thunder Punch. Actually, the first time we are running Spikes on this the whole season, just because Diggersby's been so good offensively. I've not really just threw Spikes on there at all, like any matchups. I feel like it's been really good. In this matchup's a little bit different, where I feel like its matchup's not that great because its speed tier is nice in the sense where it outspeeds his slow mons, which I do expect Celesteela, Alolan Marowak, potentially Snorlax. So those three can outspeed those. I did originally have an agility over Spikes, because after I get an agility up, this could be a potential late game win con if I weaken things down accordingly, and if he doesn't have Azumarill, because obviously Azumarill has Aqua Jet, so that was kind of scary, but I didn't feel too confident with agility, and my good friend Jay actually told me I should switch agility to Spikes when I actually kind of agree with that, because it helps things like my Tornadus, where I can just click Hurricane a lot easier. It helps my Hariyama, where I can just chip things down in range of my Shaman set you're going to see at the end, and as well as just Spikes overall helping Diggersby late game. So that's the idea there. We also have Thunder Punch on this set with Life Orb, and we can pretty much two-shot any variant of Celesteela, barring Rakan Berry, which is really, really nice. This one's just really strong overall, and if I'm ever in a situation where I can just click Thunder Punch on the Celesteela, I will, because where Diggersby's really, it's okay this matchup, it's not great. I will definitely trade it 1-for-1 with the Celesteela. Obviously that's asking for a lot, but I will do that if I can. And then the speed creep is there for the Celesteela. You're going to notice that a lot of my team is speed creep and Celesteela, just because I don't want that mon to set up a 6 Omi or something. That would definitely not be good, because it does have capability too. I feel like it does if I misplay around it, so that's the idea with Diggersby. I think it's pretty solid this matchup. But yeah, getting into my next model, we are bringing my Mew here, and we're bringing defensive Mew. As you see, he has a Mega Gallade, so like, I feel like this set's really obvious. I'm bringing Colbert, Super Fang, Will-O-Wisp, Roost, and Taunt, and then we are running, I'll talk about the moveset first. This moveset does get walled by the Alolan Marowak, which is really unfortunate. I did have Psychic over Super Fang at first, which was nice for things like Alolan Marowak and things like the Nidoking, but Mew's main job is to take on the things like the Mega Gallade. As you can see with Colbert Berry, we want to take on the Snorlax, we want to take on the Celesteela, certain things like that. Now, obviously, if we're in a scenario where it's a low Marowak Mew late game, then we're not going to be able to beat that. I do have a couple mons that I obviously think can deal with the Alolan Marowak, being my Tapu Fini, my Tornadus, my Hariyama's knockoff, and then my Diggersby even. So I have a lot of offensive pressure to potentially get rid of that thing. Hopefully, if everyone wants to sack it, that puts my Mew in a good spot to be a potential secondary win condition, along with Tapu Fini. Yeah, just because Super Fang plus Taunt is really solid for him, and as we're going to see, our speed is creeping a max speed Celesteela once again. So yeah, he can't really set up against me unless he's like Z Atotomized or Z Metal Sound or something like that, which would be pretty cool. But yeah, the idea with the defense and HP investment is we live a plus. Well, obviously we live a +2 knockoff with our Coldberry, and we can burn it's for the Mega Gallade essentially. We can take a +2 knockoff with our Coldberry. We can burn the Mega Gallade and then proceed to Roost, Super Fang it down, and the Will-O-Wisp will field eventually. Obviously we can't Willow if the Misty trains around, so I have to be careful about that. And then we have Taunt there for things like the Snorlax, Celesteela, and whatnot. So that's very nice. We also, I just gotta be careful I don't reveal too much of my set too early, just because the Alolan Marowak could definitely reveal that, or it could definitely see that this set does not touch at all. So yeah, you could definitely, in the Alolan Marowak, as you can see on my team, I don't have a switch into Shadow Bone, or well, I do have Diggersby, but that gets blown back by Flare Blitz. So yeah, my team's really weak to Alolan Marowak as well. So this team's pretty weird built, but I feel like I know how to play it well enough where I can put myself in a position to win. But yeah, that's the idea right there with the bulk. Obviously, oh yeah, and the defense investment does let us take a +2 X Scissor after rocks, I believe, almost like 90% of the time, I'm pretty sure, which is really solid to know, just in case I need to burn the Gallade. Or obviously, I also have my Tornadus, which you see on my team, which can be an offensive switch into the Mega Gallade because I outspeed it. I don't believe Mega Gallade has any certain speed setup at all, so that's also really nice for my Tornadus. If I can make an offensive switch in on it, then I'm in a pretty solid position because Tornadus pressures his team immensely, like I was talking about. So yeah. And then getting into my last mon, actually, we have our Shaman, which I didn't really want to bring this week, but because I'm not the greatest with Shaman overall, but I felt like it was really necessary this game just because he does have the Azumarill. And if he decides to bring Belly Drum Azumarill by any chance, which I don't think he will, I think it'd be banded over anything, but just in case he brings Belly Drum Azumarill, I can definitely get 6-0'd if I don't bring Shaman. Now, the spread's going to look really weird, and the set's going to look really weird, just because it's supposed to be an Azumarill check, or potentially. And the idea with it is, if he's banded Azumarill, which I will try to scout out for early on, obviously if I have to sack something to a play rough, then I will, which most of the time I probably will. Or I can potentially just go hard into my Shaman if it's in the position to, and play rough would do a ton to me, and he could obviously just switch out, so I would be taking a ton of damage for no reason, essentially, which would be really bad. And then obviously the only health recovery I have on this set is Leech Seed. And then you're going to see we have the Seed Flare and Dazzling Gleam as our attacking moves. So the idea with that is we're running a very fast Shaman set. Hopefully we can catch off his Hydreigon, which I still don't know if Hydreigon's going to be a good bring against me, so I didn't really feel comfortable bringing Dazzling Gleam. I thought Synthesis would have been a lot nicer. But I really do feel like just in case he brought Hydreigon, I need to be able to pressure that enough. Just because you can see my Fini set doesn't actually beat a Hydreigon, just because we have Hydro Pump over a Moonblast. Hariyama can, but if it gets weakened down a lot, which I'm expecting it to take a lot of hits, so it's probably going to get weakened a lot earlier. So Hydreigon definitely could be a problem to my team, so I want to bring a fast Shaman set that can outspeed any form of Hydreigon, barring Scarfed, and that's the idea with that. The special attack investment is for our Dazzling Gleam, essentially just because if he brings the amount of HP, which I think he will, oh my gosh, I'm voice correct, but if he brings the amount of special attack, I think he will on his Hydreigon, if he does bring it, or HP on his Hydreigon, which I'm thinking will be enough HP left over. I'm thinking he's going to want to outspeed max speed Tapu Fini, which is the same creep I'm expecting for his, I think I already said that with the Hydreigon. Yeah, with the Hydreigon. I'm expecting him to run enough speed for a max speed timid Tapu Fini, just because I've run offensive Finis in the past. And I don't know if he watches my stuff or like any of my games, but just in case. So the idea there is the special attack investment gives me enough boost with the Dazzling Gleam to knock out the HP invested Hydreigon I expect if it does come, barring the Roselli Berry or Scarfed, of course. And you're gonna see at the bottom we actually have the Healing Wish, which is definitely a cool idea. I feel like I added at the end of I was looking for a fourth move. I was thinking Synthesis. Synthesis or like Toxic, but when I was looking at it, I was like, Celesteela really just comes in on this mon every single time. I can only Leech Seed it, and I don't really have the greatest switch-ins to Celesteela either. So I was looking at ideas, and then I was thinking back to things like my Tapu Fini that are super solid against this team, and if it's able to 1v1 one or two Mons, it's going to be really weak at that point, where it could still be nice in the game, so I might want to keep it around. Or something like my Tornadus, for example. Obviously it gets Regenerator, but if it's ever really low to the point where I want to get it back up to full, then I can potentially use my Healing Wish to get that back up to full. So Shaman's acting as a really supportive mon this game, which is pretty much all I've done with it this season, just overall. And also it has that really nice speed margin, which is good for the Hydreigon. And it doesn't let a Azumarill just beat me if he brings a Azumarill, which I definitely think he should. I think he has a really good matchup against my team, but yeah, that's pretty much the team. Don't feel the best about it overall, but I feel confident enough toward the point I know I can put up a good game. So yeah, that's it for the team builder, guys. I'm going to go ahead and cut and get into the battle. Alright guys, we are back with the battle up against Omega, and as you guys can see, he actually brought something, or he didn't bring something that I was completely prepped for, or well, not completely, but I was very much expecting, and I had one mon in particular that I brought just because of it, and that was the Azumarill. So Shaman, buddy, you're not looking too good this game. Basically, it's just going to be in the bag clicking Healing Wish if we ever get a chance to, so yeah, Shaman looks horrible this matchup, actually. Now I'm really going back and looking at it. Wow, Shaman is so bad this game. But yeah, anyways, look at the matchup. He doesn't bring the Azumarill. He brings the Celesteela, yeah. He brings Mega Gallade, he brings the Nidoking. All three of those I expected. A little Marowak I expected. Archeops didn't really expect too much, but I'm looking at my team. It does do pretty good against the team I'm bringing, so it makes sense. And yeah, so no Hydreigon, no Snorlax, and no Azumarill. Those are the three other things I kind of expected. But he does bring the Rotom Cut, which is definitely a little bit frustrating because my Tapu Fini is my main win con this game. So I'm going to prioritize trying to kill that, or try to kill that Rotom Cut as soon as possible with any kind of move I can go for. So yeah, if it means I have to 1v, if it means I have to 1v1 one of my mons just for Tapu Fini to get a free switch in, or like Tapu Fini to get the free or easier setup with Iron Defense, or just be able to 1v1 things easier, then I definitely will allow the Rotom to 1v1 one of my mons. So yeah, I definitely, and coming into my lead matchup, I was looking at it, I saw the Alolan Marowak. It looked like a huge threat offensively, and I didn't really want that thing getting a kill turn one, so I kind of want to lead with something like my Hariyama, and he does have the Rotom Cut as well, which Hariyama can take a hit from, so I am actually going to lead off with my Hariyama right here. And yeah, he leads with the Rotom Cut. Now turn one, I was talking about in the team builder, I really wanted to run Toxic on my Hariyama after the game over Thunder Punch, just because thinking about it, Mega Gallade gets free switch-ins on this thing all day. So that's really bad, as he's going to be able to Volt Switch right here. I go straight for the knockoff, just in case he want to stand, or like go into something else, but I think we do get damage off from the Gallade at least, but right here, yeah, it's basically sucks a lot, just because Hariyama gives that thing free switch-ins all day. But yeah, I'm going to make the offensive switch into my Tornadus right here. Mega Gallade doesn't have any speed boosting setup as far as I know, and the chance he clicks an offensive move right here, it's most likely going to be something like Knockoff or Zen Headbutt, which I really don't think he has the room to run Zen Headbutt on this Gallade. And if he does, we can live that quite comfortably, which is really nice. And then Thunder Punch we can definitely live as well. And I just want to make an offensive switch immediately because Tornadus pressures his team really nicely. And we basically get to kind of scout out what he has and what he goes for. Because he goes right for the knockoff, does 31% solid damage, and obviously we do have the Z Fly on deck, or not Z Fly, the Z Hurricane, which we are able to take the knockoff a lot easier in that sense. So he's actually going to switch out right here. I knew the switch out was super obvious in a Celesteela, or well, it wasn't super obvious in my eyes during the game. Point being, if he had Zen Headbutt right there, or Thunder Punch or anything like that, and he wanted to go for it on my Tornadus, basically trying to catch me over predicting clicking knockoff for some reason, or clicking Heat Wave trying to predict the Celesteela to come in, then he would be able to knock out my Tornadus, which is a huge offensive mon against his team overall. And I kind of wanted to see how he was going to play with this Celesteela at first, and see if it was going to be his initial switch into Tornadus and whatnot. So it turns out it is. So if I clicked Heat Wave right here, it would have put me in a lot better spot, unless he was like weakness policy or something. That would have sucked, because he could have clicked the Totemize and whatnot, and that would put me in a bad spot. But I do click U-turn right here. And I kind of wish I was in with my Tornadus still, but I am going to bring in my Mew because I kind of want to just click Taunt right here, see what kind of moves he's going to go for. I'm guessing it's going to be a status move of some sort, as we're able to taunt him right away, as he's actually going to reveal the Metal Sound. So he's the Metal Sound offensive variant, which is definitely scary. So I'm kind of expecting Z Metal Sound at this point, which is not something I really prep for, but it is a pretty solid bring against my team. Makes sense against certain checks I want to bring to Celesteela. The Z parting, not the Z parting shot, the Z, frick, what's the move? Z Metal Sound does obviously work through Taunt, which, if he expected Taunt, was a really cool bring on his part, so I can commend that for sure. As right here, I'm actually going to pull a switch into my Tapu Fini, because I really wasn't thinking Z Metal Sound at this point in the game. I was kind of expecting him to make an offensive switch into his Marowak, predicting the Taunt Super Fang set, which is a pretty good set with Mew, so I was seeing if you want to make that offensive switch in. So I was going to make the switch in my Tapu Fini right here, as he's actually going to stay in and reveal the Z Metal Sound here, and I'm like, okay, that makes a lot of sense. And I'm looking at the calcs at this point. He's at +1 special attack. We're at -2 special defense. And the only thing he can knock me out right here with is a Giga Drain or an Energy Ball. If he does have either of those, that puts me in a very, very bad spot. I lose my Tapu Fini. I pretty much have no win cons at that point outside of my Mew, which can win if the Marowak is gone, potentially. So I'm in a position where I can switch out on a potential grass move, or if he just goes straight for a Flash Cannon, I don't switch into that wall and I pretty much sack something, and then he gets to start getting boosts. So that puts me in a very interesting spot. So right here, I'm actually going to go straight for the Nature's Madness, as he's going to go right for the Flash Cannon, and we can live that, not very comfortably, but we do live that on 15%, and his taunt is going to end right here, which I didn't really think about too much in the moment, but my Fini could not knock out this Celesteela right here with anything. Hydro Pump related like 35% if he was offensive, which it looks like he is at this point. And I was looking at some more calcs. The two mons that I could switch into this Celesteela at this point were my Diggersby and my Tornadus. My Tornadus could take any attack from +2 special attack, and my Diggersby could take any attack from +1 special attack. And I'm expecting him to be Flash Cannon and Air Slash. That makes the most sense against my team. And I'm expecting Autotomize as his last move just because he is the offensive variant. Why wouldn't you want to bring Autotomize? So, he definitely could Autotomize right here. He probably definitely can for free because I can't really set up. Like I could taunt again right here, trying to predict that, but like that's a really hard play to make, and that's risking my Tapu Fini again, which I definitely don't want to do. And the reason I was willing to take so much damage on my Tapu Fini right here is because I do have the Healing Wish Shaman in the back, which I could potentially use to get my Tapu Fini back up to full. So I'm going to take this opportunity to go into my Diggersby. It's pretty expandable this game. I could have went to Tornadus over Diggersby because Heat Wave is guaranteed knockout as well as Thunder Punch, but I did not want to take a huge chunk of damage with my Tornadus, putting it in range of potential putting it closer to in range of potential priority moves like Shadow Sneak from Gallade. Obviously, I do get regenerated if I switch out, but if I want to stay on Gallade with my Tornadus, then I want to be at a high health, obviously. And if he has Scarfed Rotom-Mow as well, he actually cannot. We do not know if he's Scarfed Rotom-Mow at this point or not. I believe, yeah, we don't know. So if he is Scarfed, I want to keep my Tornadus healthy enough to take a Thunderbolt as well. Even though Volt Switch would be a smart play too, but Thunderbolt, I want to be able to keep out of range of that, so I can Z Hurricane it potentially. Which I said if I can get Rotom-Mow out of the way, then Fini's looking at a good spot. So basically, with all my blubbering talk going around, let's get into what's going on here. Basically, like I said, I can live any one hit from this Celesteela, even at +1 at this point, so I'm just going to stay in and click my Thunder Punch, try to revenge this, or kill this thing, but he actually flinches me right here with Air Slash, which really, really sucks, and I'll get into that here in a little bit. You're going to be able to see, he kills me with the Flash Cannon right here, so kind of in a bad spot, or actually in a very bad spot, because he outspeeds my entire team at this point. I have to take a huge hit with something, and my only mon that can take a hit and basically knock this thing out in return is my Tornadus, so essentially sacked off my Diggersby for no reason, and like that's bad, but the worst thing is I have to take a huge hit with my Tornadus at this point. And yeah, he's going to go for the Air Slash right here, which is really like annoying. The HP investment came in clutch, but he's going for the Air Slash right there, I guess fishing for the crit or flinch, because Flash Cannon and Air Slash do about the same, so it was a smart play going for the Air Slash. I mean, I guess Flash Cannon would have done a little bit more. I think it's a little bit stronger. So it could have been really close to the roll, but I'm pretty sure I was in a spot where I was, that actually might have been a high roll Air Slash, because I was in a pretty confident spot where I could live a Flash Cannon, even at +2. With I was expecting to be modest at that point too, so yeah. He brings in the Archeops right here. Right here, I really expected Stealth Rocks for some reason. He does have two other Stealth Rockers in the back, being a Lowell Marowak and Nidoking, which in the team builder, I was really expecting Lowell Marowak to be the Stealth Rocker, so I don't really think I should have made this play right here. But at the same time, I don't feel like I had any other play to make besides maybe Hariyama. So what I do right here is I actually am going to go for my Z, or actually go for my, yeah, I go for my Taunt right here, assuming he'd go for the Stealth Rocks, I think. Or no, I'm sorry, I go for the Z Hurricane on this turn. Because Z Hurricane plus Hurricane can knock out pretty much most variants of Archeops unless it's like super invested in defenses. And I want to get rid of the Archeops essentially, just because it gives my Shaman an easier time to Healing Wish up my Fini. It is, maybe it'd just be another mon dead essentially as well. It means my Hariyama can check more of his team comfortably. and I felt like Stealth Rocks was the play he was going to make right here, but he actually reveals really cool tech, and he uses the Choice Scarf Archeops to offensively check my Tornadus, which is really cool on his part. Knocks me out right there, and that really sucks. The Rotom-Mow is a lot more of a problem now with my Tornadus gun, especially that I have the Z Hurricane on deck for this thing. And yeah, it really sucks because that flinch on Diggersby really was game-changing because, like I said, I had to take a huge chunk of damage with my Tornadus. I could have saved Diggersby as sack fodder for something like the Alolan Marowak, which actually just smacks my team. So had I not got flinched, I would have been in a position to do that, but it is what it is. It's part of the game. I gotta get over it. And I was trying to keep the mindset stay positive in this game just because like that put me in a bad spot, but I still had a potential chance to win this game with Tapu Fini or Mew, depending on which one I got rid of. So if I was able to get rid of the Rotom-Mow, I guess, my Tapu Fini had a very good shot. And if I was able to get rid of the Alolan Marowak, my Mew had a very good shot. So right here, you're going to see, I'm actually going to reveal to be faster, so he's not even Choice Scarf, so my Tornadus was very nice against this thing still. He could have had a lot of bulk, but yeah, if I got some chip on this, and my Tornadus Z Hurricane still would have knocked it out. And yeah, it would have been very nice to keep around, but he's going to go for the slow Volt Switch right there, go into his little Marowak, and I know he's going to essentially get a kill at this point. I figured keeping my Hariyama was still nice just because it was an easier way to chip down the Rotom-Mow than my Shangon was. So I wanted to Healing Wish right here and actually just bring my Fini in. It wasn't like obviously a play I felt comfortable doing, but I felt like it was my best play at that point. To get my Fini back up to full, it was my mon I wanted to get a Healing Wish off on anyways. And yeah, right here I do expect this Rotom to come in immediately, especially after seeing that he's not Scarf and he's more than likely in bulk. He's set to take on my Fini. And if I'm able to weaken it with Nature's Madness, potentially put it in range to where Hariyama can knock it out in a little bit, then that would be perfect with me. So I'm going to actually click Nature's Madness right here, and I'm actually going to miss. So yeah, this game's not going the best so far. I'm actually going to stay in right here. I'll explain it for a little bit, but not too long, because you guys are probably getting tired of hearing me have around about it. But I'm going to stay in right here because I want to keep my Hariyama healthy enough to where the point where it can take a hit from the Alolan Marowak, because if I can keep Hariyama in a range or out of range of an attack from the Alolan Marowak, get rid of that. Like I said, my Mew has a very strong chance to win this game. So, and at this point with the Rotom-Mow sitting right in front of my Tapu Fini, I figured that trying to win with my Mew was a lot easier than trying to win with my Tapu Fini. So that's what I was going for. I went for the Nature's Madness on this turn yet again, and as you can see, we actually miss again. So yeah, this really sucks because two Nature's Madnesses would have put the Rotom-Mow, or actually I wouldn't have went for the second Nature's Madness right there if I hit the first one, because I could have went Hariyama on his Thunderbolt, and yeah, he could have got a switch into his Gallade with the Volt Switch. I would have had to pretty much make some plays around that, trying to predict him and stuff. It wouldn't have been easy, of course, but trying to weaken this Rotom-Mow to a point where I could potentially knock it out eventually with something like my Mew or Hariyama, put my Fini in a very solid position to win, but unfortunately we get 0 damage off of both our Nature's Madnesses missing, and he's able to get a huge chunk off right there with a Thunderbolt. We still are out of range of a Sludge Wave from Nidoking thanks to our Kevia Berry, so I'm going to keep our Tapu Fini around and go into our Hariyama. He's going to go straight for the Thunderbolt. We take that pretty well, and we can just leftovers up. He's going to go Volt Switch right here. Pretty obvious play, as I believe I go for the knockoff once again. Yeah, I mean, I knew Gallade was going to come in, but like, I mean, I guess I could have clicked Earthquake right there for a little bit stronger attack. And I obviously couldn't have doubled because he had the Volt Switch momentum. Had I doubled into Mew and he Volt Switched out, he just goes into Marowak. Had I stayed in on his Volt Switch, I just died at that point. Or if I didn't die, he brings in something like the Nidoking and just kills me. So, put me in a bad spot. And I'm just going to stay in, continue to weaken this thing down because I wanted to let my Mew stay at high as health as possible to just try to beat this team, because Mew was looking like my best chance at winning at this point, because I still do have my Tapu Fini around, which can get rid of the Marowak, and then my Mew can potentially beat the rest of the team, maybe. So yeah, we are going to make a Mew right here. Eat that up, eat that +1 knockoff up with our Cold Berry. Will Wisp the Gallade and proceed to click Roost right here. He could have maybe doubled out here in Marowak, predicting my Roost, but like I really didn't want to predict that because I had to keep my Mew out of range of any attack. But at this point, he actually just locks up the game because he can just click Shadow Bone. My Tapu Fini is in range of Shadow Bone, so like, I guess staying in and clicking Nature's Madness the second time on the Rotom-Mow, oh my gosh, on the Rotom-Mow actually kind of sucked for me a little bit, just because I had to take that damage, and at this range I could, or if I didn't take the Thunderbolt, I would have been out of range of the Shadow Bone. Could have potentially brought in Fini here and been at a higher health to live a Shadow Bone, and then he probably would have switched out, but like on the off chance he didn't, yeah, on the off chance he didn't switch out and sacked off a little Marowak, like I said, my Mew was in a solid position to win. So going back to those Nature's Madness misses, those really sucked because I wouldn't have stayed in with my Fini, and my Fini would have been at full health to take a hit from this thing. I would have switched in here, And if I hit the Nature's Madnesses on the Rotom, I could have potentially knocked it out with the Hydro Pump on the following turn. If I hit the well, I guess if I hit the first one, he wouldn't have been in range of the second one, so I would have had to do some calcs and stuff right there, so it would have been tough. But he's going to be able to finish with the game basically with 2 Shadow Balloons, as my Mew set is completely walled by this, so I tried making the play in there, trying to kill the Marowak off for my Mew to potentially win, but yeah, like I said, that's going to be a game. So yeah, GG to Omega. I think even without the hacks, he still had a very solid team against me, and I was just glad to play him. He's a good opponent, so maybe we'll face off again in playoffs or something, as, yeah. For sure, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I'll try to talk about some stuff real quick. Yeah. Yeah, the only play I really kind of regret in this game is going back to turn, I guess turn 3. Yeah, turn 3. The only kind of play I guess I regret, if I played aggressive right here and just clicked Heat Wave instead of U-turn, then I would have 2-shot the Celesteal out if I hit both my Hurricanes, or Heat Waves, of course. After figuring out his Archie upset, though, he probably would have switched out on the second Heat Wave, and I probably would have just stayed in and clicked Heat Wave anyways. So I'm expecting the Archie ups would have came in on the second one, and then at that point I would have been in a position where I would have had to switch out on Archie ups, which I don't have a great switch into Archie ups, so yeah. Definitely that was really my only misplay, I feel like, if it was a misplay, not clicking Heat Wave on the Celesteela. But yeah, looking back at the Nature's Madness misses sucked, but I think Davis B getting flinched was worse over anything, just because it meant my Tornadus would have been at a lot healthier range, and it could have gotten rid of the Rotom potentially for my Tapu Fini or Mew, or for my Tapu Fini essentially to go in and start putting in some work. So yeah, that was pretty much it. Anyways, I also want to mention that I do have my intro to my videos now. If you guys have already noticed that, I've actually made an intro to my videos. Hopefully it's working alright. I lagged in my last video a lot, but hopefully it's working alright. I think it's pretty cool. Let me guys know if you like it. If you make it this far in the video, I'm just rambling on so long, but have that going on, and I'm also trying to just edit my videos a lot more and just get better at it overall. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. We are sitting at 7 and 2 now, plus 21. So we're still, at the moment, we're second seed, but I think we're, after week 9 gets all caught up, we're going to be either second, third, or fourth. So a lot of fighting for the playoffs seeds going into it. So yeah, but anyways, that's it for me, guys. If you did enjoy, leave a like, subscribe, really would appreciate it. And yeah, that's it. Peace.